Yo, what's going on? Misha here. Just wrapped up a crazy training with my team. I'm out in Utah at the moment, but we do trainings twice a day, every single day. That doesn't stop. Today's call, we went over the third-party objection. What do you do when you drop the price and your prospect says, hey, sounds good, I gotta go talk to my wife or my accountant or my business partner or my dog or whoever? Right? How do you deal with that? What do you say when someone's trying to push the decision to someone else who isn't on the call? All right. In this video, I go over the exact approach of how you can do it. And towards the end, I actually show you the aggressive approach that if you really nail, if you really get down correctly, it's going to turn you into a beast into sales. And every single time you get this objection, you're going to know exactly what to do and exactly how to close the sale on that call without talking to nobody but yourself. All right, get your pen and paper out for this one. It's going to be good, and I'll see you there. Here's the thing with third-party objection, right? And you see this a lot on sales call with any smoke screen, right? For those of you guys who've played like Call of Duty or video games or whatever before, what's the purpose of a smoke screen, right? You drop it so that nobody can freaking see you and you can escape safely, right? Like that's the whole thing with smokescreen. And what's interesting, especially on sales calls, it's like a lot of the times what happens is like you go through the entire process, you drop your big price, it's going to be an investment of $8,000, right? And then instantly they're like, holy shit, that's a lot of money, smokescreen, let me get the fuck out of here, right? That's literally what happens, okay? It's that simple. It's literally as simple as that, right? Their first gut reaction, it's resistance, right? It's get off the call, get away, fight or flight, right? Let me get out of here. Totally natural. That's where you hear, okay, cool. I'm just going to think about it, get back to you. Okay, cool. Just going to, talk to my wife. Just going to go talk to my accountant. Just going to go, have a conversation with God. Whatever, right? Because what they're going to do just instinctively is, with the third party objection, the root of it is, our goal on a sales call is to get our prospect to come to a decision. What they're trying to do is put the decision onto somebody else, right? This is just classic sales resistance, right? Let me just put the decision on somebody else, and that gives me an easy out on the call. Right now, at the end of the day, guys, if we're selling a serious program, okay, we had a full conversation with our prospect, qualified them, and we agreed that this really is the perfect fit. Like it's our responsibility to help our prospect overcome a lot of, some of that, the instincts that are holding them back from taking action, right? If you can't do that, like you're not a closer. If you can't help your prospect overcome certain limiting beliefs or certain objections or certain fears or doubts, you're not a closer. You're a telemarketer. You're nothing special, right? So how do we get around this, right? Prospect wants to put the decision onto somebody else. What do? Got to put it back onto the prospect, right? So let's jump into how to do this. First things first, I just want to make a quick note before we jump into the approach. The thing with the wife objection, and I see everybody messing up on this, is like you give it way too much credit. Wife objection, I want to talk to my parents, I want to talk to whoever, right? You give it way too much credit. And when you start giving it credit, they start digging into it. Where like a simple, just like quick gut reaction, oh, I'm just going to talk to my wife about this. All of a sudden that turns into something where like they're digging their heels in that. And then they start saying things like, oh, it's a joint bank account. And they start really digging into, I have to talk to my wife, right? Just act like it's no problem, right? And it isn't, but like when you freak out about the wife and when you give it way too much attention and credit, then they're going to start digging into it. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's impossible to handle a smoke screen, right? It's not possible to handle one. Like the way we train you guys on this is you have to get past the smoke screen, find the real objection. Like, hey, like what's the root of the doubt? Like what's the thing that they're worried about? Is it the money? Is it the time? Or is it, the skill and their ability to actually use the program, right? It's one of those three things that's behind that objection. You got to be able to like hear that and like, okay, cool, no problem. Move past it nice and smooth, get to the real objection like as fast as possible. That's the key with a smoke screen, right? For those of you noting it down, right? Like understand that a smoke screen is just, quick, like little sales resistance. It was like, okay, I got to get out of here, right? Initial gut reaction. And you got to be able to move through it quick, like fast. You know what I mean? Like if you spend like 5 minutes talking about their initial gut reaction, then that's when it becomes a real objection, and then there's no handling it, right? I have to go talk to somebody who's not on this call right now. So the only way that we can get this deal done is if I get off the phone, and then they're never going to get back to you, right? Or a lot of times they don't. A lot of the times they don't. So let's jump into it. How do you actually get around this objection? There's a couple ways you can do it. Honestly, guys, super simple, like nothing crazy at all. Just keep it chill, right? Someone want to role play with me? Yeah, Simba, let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, Simba, man, listen, when it comes to joining the program here, nothing crazy, no monthly fees, just going to be a one-time investment of $8,000.
Okay. Yeah, $8,000. Okay. Yeah, I just got to talk to my wife about it, and as soon as I talk to her, yeah, I'll get back to you about it. Okay?
Absolutely, 100%, man. How long do you think you'd need?
Yeah, I'll talk to her tonight, and then tomorrow I can give you a call.
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. No problem at all. Let me ask you this before we wrap up the meeting here, Simba. Between you and me, because obviously you're going to be the one here building the business, going through all the work, putting in the effort, using the program. You personally, is this something that you want to be a part of?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, but because I just want to clarify here, right? With everything I just explained 3 seconds ago, the program, the group calls, the one-on-ones, the trainings that we're going to be going through here. Like I just want to be clear, man. Like I know your goal is to create a passive stream of income online. You are looking at a good amount of work, and I know you mentioned you're kind of juggling the 9 to 5 alongside this. Any reason, Simba, why you wouldn't be able to hop on every single training that we run so that you can get the most value out of this?
No, yeah, I'll be able to show up for all the trainings. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I can count on you for that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And let me ask you this. I just out of curiosity, with everything I just described, do you feel confident that you'll be able to reach your goal of making $3,000 a month passively with your business?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you don't sound too sure, man.
Well, it is the first time I'm doing all this, and I am kind of, yeah, like I know it is possible. I just it's still kind of hard for me to really see the vision, to know that I can do it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Especially when you've never done it before, right? When we're working towards something you've never accomplished before, it's kind of hard to put an $8,000 investment behind something that's like totally unknown to you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's, you said it.
Okay, gotcha. For sure, man. And okay, see, now we have the real objection, right? Now we can handle it. Where it's like, okay, cool. And yeah, by the way, like Simba, the reason why I take these calls is because obviously you're looking at a massive commitment here, right? And the reason why we have such a high success rate in our program is because we make sure expectations are 100% clear up front, so that when you join, you understand exactly what you're getting into and you know exactly what needs to happen for you to see the kind of results you want to see, right? So I mean, where does if you could kind of pinpoint it, where does the doubt come from? What makes you think that this might potentially not work out the way you want it to?
Yeah, well, it's really I've never been an entrepreneur before, and yeah, it's so much new skills. I've only ever worked 9 to 5s working for other people, and the skills to be an entrepreneur, even the discipline, to be
Right.
showing up
Right.
and doing work every day is it's a new, basically training to be that guy, right?
Right.
Um,
Okay, let's cut it here. Let's say you were even if you were a little bit more difficult, right? But because that was the kind of the easy example, right? So like what just happened there? It's like, yeah, totally, no problem. Talk to the wife. I don't care. Let me ask you just really quickly, because I do want to just double check and make sure. We spoke about a lot just a second ago. Is this something that you want to do, man? You're all in on this? Yeah, great. You can put in all of the work. It's going to be super hard and you're ready for it? Yes, great. Okay, and are you really confident that you'll be able to see the result that you want? I'm searching for the real objection, right? Like I'm listening to Simba's tone for any signs of hesitancy, right? But because that's where we're going to find it. Let's say, you know, and then obviously he was hesitant with the results thing, dug deeper on that, leveled with him. Great. Hey, the last thing I want you to do would be to spend $8,000 and like you're not sure if you're going to see results or not. Right? The last thing I want you to do, man, is freaking throw $8,000 on the roulette table. Like you want to make sure that you're taking a calculated risk here, right? Leveling with him hard. You know what I mean? Like I'm almost like I'm totally understanding the objection when I say something like that. A lot of people shy away from dropping a line where it's like, hey, like, yeah, dude, 100%. The last thing you want to do is spend $8,000 on something that like may or may not work out, right? And then now prospect's going to be like, yeah, holy shit, this guy isn't just trying to like sell me. He's not just trying to push me, but like he's actually trying to help me here, right? Really good line right there. Really good way just to bring down the tension and keep it chill, because that's all it is. Right? Again, they're throwing out this objection 9 times out of 10 because there's tension, they're scared, they're nervous, they don't want to, do anything impulsive, right? So they throw that out. Other example, right? Let's say you're like, yes, no problem, right? I'm literally, as I'm going about gaining commitments, right? As I'm asking these questions and I'm gaining these commitments, like I'm trying to get an objection out of you. Like that's what I want. Right? Like I want you to tell, like I'll say something like, hey Simba, like I know you mentioned you're a school bus driver at the moment. How are you gonna justify spending $8,000? Like how are you gonna do that? Right? Like I'll just confront it. Like address the freaking elephant in the room. But because I can't handle, I just got to have a conversation with the wife and see if we can do this. I can't handle that because the wife's not here. Right? I'm trying to handle it like right now. Right? So it's like, hey, Simba, how the hell are you going to come up with $8,000? Well, I don't know. And then now I can collect some data. I can collect some information. I can figure out, okay, maybe it probably is it is a money objection. It's always going to be a money objection, especially with a massive price tag like that. So like, just go head on for the money. Hey, can you make that happen? Like, can you even like justify dropping that kind of money right now? Again, most salespeople will never say that because like they're too afraid of like their prospects saying, well, no, we can't justify it. Right? I would rather hear that than end off the call on a smoke screen where I have no control. Right? Like find the real objection by any means. Because once you get there, now we can work with it. Right? Now we can work out a plan. Now we can raise belief. Now we can, do whatever, right? The other approach, right? Let's say we're going through this, right? I find the real objection and then I start handling it and dealing with it. But by the way, like if you just kind of like, just disregard the wife in the beginning, gain commitments, find the real objection just by listening to their tone and what they're saying. Once you start, let's say it's like it's a belief thing, right? Like you're not sure if you're going to see results or not. This is brand new to you. You're scared, right? Let's say, I start raising that belief. I tell a story. We're talking about it. Hey, like, why do you think, like, what would be the case where you wouldn't see the result? Right? Well, I guess it would be like this, and that. And I'd be like, yeah, exactly. And like that's what I found. Like, I'll be honest with you, Simba. Like, this isn't 100% success rate, bro. Like, we'll show you what works. You got to be the one to implement it. And like, I'm not gonna. You're not paying me to babysit you, bro. You're paying me to be your coach to give you expert strategies, right? So that's really what and then, we have that conversation and then it becomes like, yeah, Misha, I guess you're right. This is just a lot. I'm brand new to this. I'm confident. Let me just take a couple days. Now it's comfort, right? Hey man, listen, Simba, let me ask you, when was the last time you saw massive change in your life without doing something that kind of made you shit your pants a little bit? Like, man, I know you mentioned you're married. when you pop the question, or when you first walked up to her, at the freaking Starbucks, like, were you not terrified? Great, but you did it anyways, right? Right, and look at you, dude. You're freaking married now, right? Imagine if you felt uncomfortable in that moment and you did nothing. You'd be freaking single right now, dude. You got to take steps that are scary. That's going to be a prerequisite for you to be able to get to your goals. Would you agree? Great, close. Right? Like, once I really understand that real objection, like, Simba's going to forget about the wife. Let's say he doesn't. In a lot of cases, they will forget about the wife. Let's say he doesn't, right? Well, yeah, 100%. I'm, totally all in. I just got to run it by the wife, right? Now it's like, okay, cool, fine. Once we're here, it's like now you guys, I would recommend that you take the approach that we train you on, right? Where it's like, okay, gotcha, totally understand, no problem. And Simba, just to clarify here, right? Like you're 100% on board. It's just a matter of running it by the wife, or like, are you still kind of uncertain and you want to ask for your wife's opinion about this? Right? Two very different things. Right? Hey, I don't know if I want to do this. Let me go talk to the wife. The wife is not going to be your freaking cheerleader. The wife is not going to close the deal for you. I guarantee you that. Right? If they're still unsure and they're going to go talk to the wife, they're never talking to you again. That's it. Deal's done. Right? However, if it's, hey, yeah, I'm totally on board. Just going to have a quick convo with the wife, make sure she's on board, make sure everything is cool, chill, and we'll go ahead and rock and roll. Okay, yeah, no problem, man. No problem. And I know you want to do this for a long time. It's important to have the wife on board. Totally understand. And like, just out of curiosity, what do you think would your wife be most like worried about with you doing something like this? Right? Oh, she wouldn't be worried about anything. Okay. Like what about the fact that like you're going to be spending 20 hours a week working on your business? Like, is she going to be happy seeing you less? I'm doing the exact same approach I did a second ago. Like, I'm literally trying to find the real objection. Right? Okay. And like, she just wants to make sure if I'm spending 8K. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Hey, I mean, let me ask you, like, if you had like a guaranteed trade, a guaranteed trade 8,000 for 80,000, would your wife say no? Like, if you had an opportunity, just in a hypothetical dreamland, where you could trade $8,000 for 80,000, like, would your wife be upset that you made $72,000? No, of course not. Okay, so like, I mean, I would assume that the biggest thing she's worried about is what happens if you spend the money and you don't get the result that you want, right? Gotcha. So like, let me just ask you, like, what happens if, I mean, Sam, it seems like you believe in this, like you really want to do this, right? What happens if your wife is like, no, you're crazy, you're not doing this, but you know that this is the opportunity that you need to take? Like, what would you do in that situation? Okay.
Oh.
Well,
you want me to
no. I mean, we can just extrapolate, right? Okay. Hey, and like, let me ask you, like, what happens if she says yes? We on board? Yeah, amazing. Right? So like, you're really just getting down to the root of it. You're really just finding the real objection right there at the end. Listen, like, not in all cases, like, I would love that you guys close every single deal on the first call, but like, that's just not reality. Like, you're not going to close 100% of your deals on the first call. I think a good, like, healthy number is probably 70 to 80% should be closed on the first call. But there's going to be others that you got to hop on a second phone call, right? You got to follow up with. That's fine. But just the fact that you took all of this extra time to, like, really understand, to, like, really break down whatever beliefs, whatever, objection they have, for you to give your perspective on it. Like, now they really have a thought process that they can approach this with, right? Rather than you just letting it go because you don't know what to say. Right? So like, if we get all the way there at the end and I'm like, hey, so like, Simba, like, what happens if she says no and like you really believe in this, but like she tells you like, no, there's no way you're doing this. Like, what would you do then? Right? Let's say it's like, hey, well, I guess I just want to do this. Two approaches. Like, you could go for the hard close Like your route to close that at the end is like challenging their manhood. Straight up. Like that's what it is. So it's like, this is why I say, like, you don't always have to close on the first call, but like, you're going to have to get pretty aggressive if you want to, if you go all the way through this and they're still stubborn about the wife, you know, it's a case of like, okay, so Simba, let me get this straight. You believe in this. You hate the 9 to 5 that you're working in. You know you need to make a change. You're confident that this is the route that you're going to need to take to make that change. But if your wife tells you, no, you're not doing this, you're just going to accept that 9 to 5 and just going to keep doing what you've been doing? Am I understanding right? Yeah, I guess so. Well, dude, hey, listen, like there comes a point in everybody's life where you got to stand on your own 2 fucking feet. You know, you got to take control of your shit, bro. Like if you're not happy where you're at, like nobody's going to come save you. You know what I mean? Your wife isn't going to build this business for you. Like there's going to have to be a point where you call your shot. You say, yo, this is what I'm doing. I'm building this business. I'm making it happen. And there's no plan B. And until you come to that realization, get comfortable working that shit 9 to 5 that you told me that you hated. You know, like you're going down that approach, right? So like super abrasive, super aggressive. Some people might take it. Most people probably won't take it. I mean, it depends on the rapport that you've built throughout the entire conversation. Depends on your confidence and your conviction. You know, a lot of the times it's like, you know, I might just let it slide there right at the end. You know, okay, dude, listen, no problem. Have a conversation with the wife. I'll be around later on today. Make it happen. Like at that point, I'm just letting it go. Right? Sometimes, again, 1 out of 10, you know, it's like, hey, me and my wife, we love each other. You know, I'm just going to go chat with her real quick, let her know, make sure she's on board. Cool. I've closed plenty of deals like that where I've let it slide. I've kind of gauged it correctly and I see like, okay, this guy's serious. Like he's good to go. Like I don't want to like push any buttons or do anything freaking crazy because it seems like he's ready to rock. And if last minute he backs out, like that's on him. Like he's gonna have to live with that, you know, whatever. I'll just let that go. Right? So like right there at the end, you got to make that judgment call. But that's the approach, guys. That's the approach. Key points, just ignore the objection in the beginning. Like literally just ignore it. Okay, yeah, no problem. Totally cool. Not too worried about that. Let me ask you, man to man here, like, dude, are you all in on this personally? Okay, great. No doubts whatsoever. Like no hesitations. You are ready to rock and roll. Oh, well, you know, it is a lot of money. Oh, okay, gotcha. No, for sure, man. It is a lot of money. Cool. We found the real objection, money objection, right? Handle it. Handle the money objection the way that you would if it was just a money objection and not a wife objection. And then if we're at the end of the call and they're really stubborn about that, I need to go talk to wife, I need to go talk to, you know, whoever, right? It could be anybody. It's the exact same objection. You're going down that approach. Okay, cool. So like you're totally on board. It's just a matter of running it by them. Okay. And just out of curiosity, like what do you think they would be most concerned about with you doing this? Like what do you think they'd be worried? Rinse and repeat. Find the real objection, go in and handle it, right? And then worst comes to worst, you make that judgment call right at the end of the call, and then keep it going. Just like point on objection handling in general, just showing that like you care enough to go the extra mile, right? To go through the process, to not just let them go easy. Like it's a positive thing. People appreciate that, you know? Especially if you've built up some really good rapport earlier on in the call, people really do appreciate when you stay with them on the call, you know, you empathize with them, you understand what their objection is, and you show them a different perspective because they're the one that wants to make the change. They're hopping on the call, you know, they want to do something. They're seeking your help, right? What you're doing here at the end is you're helping them if you go about it the right way. A lot of people will be like super abrasive, super pushy, super pressure. That's not the approach that I'm teaching you here, right? It's, you know, keep it chill, keep it light, tonality, right? Come from that place of empathy. And then, like you should be closing these more than you're not, honestly.